Hi everyone, here I am live with you guys as promised. As always, I am on Instagram, I am on my Facebook Live, so I'm going to be doing my best to interact with everybody. If you have any comments as I'm on here, definitely put them in the comment box and I'll do my best to get to them when the time's appropriate or at the end of the live. Let's see who's on. Just want to give a few more minutes or moments for other people to join because I know I just said 20 minutes ago that I'm going to be jumping on here, so I do want to make sure everyone has a chance to join. Before I actually get into what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to also say that some of you have been following me for a while and you're seeing these posts and these videos that I'm doing and a lot of the information that I'm sharing and the tips that I'm giving. If you feel like you want more and you really feel like what you're hearing is resonating with you and deep down inside you're like, yes, this is the kind of information that I've been looking for. Maybe you're going through depression, maybe you're suffering with just having these feelings and you're not really sure what they are and you just want help getting rid of some of the negative emotions or some limiting beliefs or things that are going on in your mind that are not supporting you, I'm going to post a link right below this video to schedule a call with me. It's a free free 45-minute call where we can dive deeper into what's going on and see how I can help. So would absolutely love to hear from you. Would absolutely love to do my best to support you. For those of you watching on Instagram, if you follow through to my Facebook, you will find the link there, and I will try to put the link in the bio as well. So that's for a free 45-minute strategy call with me. If everything you're hearing here, you're loving it and you're like, I want more and I want to actually dive deep into it and see how it can help me personally, that's how you do it. So go ahead and schedule that. It'll be available after the live right below, right in the comment section. All right, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, just briefly and quickly, I know I've made a post earlier about how labeling depression or looking at depression as a label will actually help you realize that if you put that label on yourself, or maybe somebody else put that label on you, then you can just as easily remove that label. And yes, I recognize, maybe not necessarily as easily as it was put on, but the opportunity is there. So what happens when we put a label on something, and a lot of times what happens is we are experiencing emotions, we're experiencing these feelings, we have these thoughts, and we kind of find ourselves in this place where, and again, this is what I was going through. I didn't know what was happening with me. All I knew is that I was feeling sad a lot. I had a lot of pain and hurt in my heart, and I was struggling with concentrating. I couldn't get through a page of a book without having to reread it like 3 or 4 times before I retained some of the information. And so as I'm going through all of these things, I'm also asking myself, what is happening? Why am I feeling this way? What's going on? I don't really know. And of course, the more you hear about it in the media, and then you go to a doctor and then, they diagnose you with something, and all they do is they put a label on an emotional and a mental state that you're in. So there's a couple of things here. So the idea that we are describing a mental or emotional state, that means, so what's a state? A state is you can be in a happy state, you can be in an excited state, you can be in a depressed state, you can be in a sad state. So a state is like a momentary expression of where you are in that moment. So if you're feeling sad, you're in a sad state. If you're feeling excited, you're in an excited state. And so all it means is if you recognize that, hey, I'm in a sad state, or I'm in a depressed state, or I'm in a whatever state, that helps because you look at it and go, okay, it's just a state. So just the way I got into this state, I can also get myself out of this state. So yes, you may need support and guidance, and maybe even doing some of the release work that I do to help you remove those emotions on a deeper level, like on the core root level, and that will help you feel better. And just know, even the people who are deeply depressed, like I was like 15 years ago, most of the time I was so sad and I had so much pain and so many emotions that were just dragging me down. And yet once in a while there would be a better day, there would be a good day. And maybe my friends invited me out somewhere, maybe something else happened and it was like, wow, today I was actually feeling okay. It kind of put this depression out of my mind. I kind of disconnected from it for a moment. So what that shows is that, again, just like we can be in a negative, sad, depressed state, we can shift into a positive state very quickly and very easily. And I know I don't mean to belittle the idea and the feelings that you're having when you are depressed. I just want you to know that it's possible. And again, you may need help, you may need some support. It's just the whole idea that it's a state. So then the second thing that I wanted to talk about is the idea of labels. Especially in the medical profession, doctors absolutely love putting labels on something. There's always a new disorder, a new disease, a new illness, a new something that is being invented, and these labels keep getting slapped on people that are showing certain symptoms. So the symptoms are, again, a matter of state. So if you go to a doctor and you're in a really sad and depressed state, they will slap the label on you of you are depressed. And so this is the problem. As soon as we put a label on something, we are saying you are X, whatever X is what you're experiencing. That's the state that you are feeling, that you're experiencing mentally and emotionally. So as soon as you say it in those terms, you are depressed, or you say it to yourself, I am depressed, you're kind of locking yourself up into becoming what you say you are. So the label becomes an identity. It's no longer just a state, an emotional state or a mental state. It's no longer these feelings you are experiencing or these thoughts that are, negative mindset, and it's putting you down and bringing negative thoughts into your mind. You are now depressed. You are now, you have social anxiety, so you are whatever that label would be. So when we put those labels on ourselves, and again, a lot of times those labels come from doctors, a lot of times it comes, I see a lot of my clients that come in and they kind of self-diagnose and they go, oh, I read this article and I did this quiz and, it described all these symptoms that I have and it says that I'm depressed. So yeah, I think I'm depressed. I'm like, okay, well, you want to hold on to that label because if it's serving you, then okay, but most of the time it isn't. So just recognizing that it's just a label that's describing how you're feeling in the moment, it takes that weight off a little bit. And it kind of, the way I'm seeing it is it opens up a tiny little crack of hope and light that comes in that says, okay, this is a state. I am feeling this way right now. And that means that my state can change. Our states change all the time. We're never in one and the same emotion for a very long time. I mean, yes, there's the kind of overarching idea of sadness and pain and anxiety or whatever it is when we're experiencing these things, but the emotions themselves, they range. There's all kinds of things that will happen. You'll have a little bit of excitement, and then you'll have some, maybe guilt, maybe sadness, maybe fear, maybe happiness, maybe like there's all these different things, maybe curiosity, maybe boredom. Those are all different states and they're always changing. So again, just saying one thing and saying I am depressed, then it's like, okay, that's all you are. You're putting that label on yourself and there's nothing else. As soon as you start changing your language around it and start changing how you're looking at things and say, okay, I am feeling depressed, I am feeling down, I am feeling sad, I am feeling hurt, whatever it is, then you know that that feeling can come and it can go. It's the state that you're in and you know that it can change. A label is one example that I use in my trainings when we teach this concept called the presupposition. So presuppositions are basically sort of the concepts that we choose to look at the world through. And those concepts help us see a better world and create a better world and have a more positive outcome and energy all around when we are interacting both with ourselves and our minds and with other people. So one of those presuppositions is the map is not the territory. And I know it doesn't make sense to a lot of you, but what it means really is when you look at a map, like an actual hard paper, hard copy map, it's got different, maybe 2 or 3 colors. It's got these lines, and you can barely fit the street name onto the little road or whatever. It's not the same as going to the actual territory, so to the actual destination that the map is describing, and you're going to see these like little blue and green or whatever, pink, yellow, I don't know, colors on the ground, and the road is not going to look the way it looks on the map, and you're not going to have the street name written on the road the way it's written on the map. So the map is just a label to describe the actual territory, and there's that difference there, that when you actually arrive to the destination, it's very different from what the map described. Another way to look at it is, this is a popular example that I use from self-defense class. So when you go to self-defense class, especially like a woman's self-defense class, one of the first things, and depending on which type of self-defense and martial arts you're going into, but one of the first things that the instructor will have you do is take your purse and dump everything out and kind of look at the contents of your purse. And he might pick something up. So let's say he picks up your house key and he holds it up and he says to the class, "What is this?" And then what's everyone going to say? It's a key. So if we say it's a key, and we know what a key does, a key unlocks the door, then we can put it back in the purse and go, okay, it's just a key. It doesn't help me in a situation where I'm being attacked and I need to defend myself. However, that's the whole point. That's the whole reason why the instructor does it. He will show you how you can use this key in that context of being attacked, actually use it as a weapon. So if you label it as a key and you think it's a key, it'll always be a key, it's nothing but a key, all it does is unlock doors, doesn't do anything else, then in that moment of looking for something to defend yourself with, looking for a weapon or something to protect yourself with, your mind is going to overlook that and go, no, that doesn't work for me, no, that doesn't count, this isn't going to help me because it's just a key. As opposed to if you plant that seed in your mind of, oh, well, it's a key, but it also can be a weapon, and it sort of takes that label off of it, and we're looking at it in a different way. So I want to invite you to do the same with how you're feeling. So a lot of times when clients come to me and they say, oh, I've been diagnosed with depression, or I've been diagnosed with anxiety, or I've been diagnosed with whatever else, I go, okay, so tell me about how you're feeling. And then they'll go into describing their emotions and their mental state and the thoughts that they have and some of the things that they're feeling. And I go, okay, well, I can help you release the feelings, which basically when the feelings go away, then the label is no longer necessary. But this is where it kind of gets interesting, because some people cling so tightly to that label and say, oh, but no, I'm depressed and I've been diagnosed with depression and I've been told that depression cannot be cured, so this is what I am depressed. And to those people in that moment, I say, okay, well, you have a choice. You can either hold on to that label, slap it on yourself even tighter, maybe rub it in a little longer so that it stays on real nice and tight and long and all of that. Or you can choose to look at it that way, as it's just a label. It's just a word. It's just a name that somebody gave someone at some point who was experiencing certain emotions. And that's all that the medical profession does. That's all it's trained to do, is look at a list of symptoms and put a label on it so that they know which drugs to prescribe. They can't describe your disease. If they can't put a label on it, they can't prescribe you medication, which means they're not making money, the drug company is not making money, and really that's all it's about. So when you are approaching it from a different perspective and you're kind of looking at it, okay, what is happening right now? What am I feeling? What state am I in? What other states have I been in? How can I shift into a more positive state? Maybe reach out for help, maybe do some other things. Sometimes going for a walk or exercising can put you in a different state. It may be a tired, exhausted state, but again, it's just telling your mind that, okay, I can go from a depressed state to an exhausted state. So that's already a shift. There's already a change that's happening. So what other changes are possible? What other things can change? So that's the one thing. And the other thing is the whole idea of a label. So instead of saying, I am depressed, I am anxious, whatever it is, again, focus more on what are you experiencing, what are you feeling, what state are you in, and then shift out of that. So get away from putting a label on yourself, because it's like once it's slapped on there, it's very hard to remove from your mind. I mean, you maybe have been carrying it for some time now, and I want to invite you to just give that a little bit of a thought. Just open up that little window and maybe allow the opportunity to come in for you to realize that this label doesn't really mean anything. It's just a way for someone to describe what you're going through. It's just like your name. You are not defined by your name. Your name is just a label for who you are to other people, so that when they say your name, they know they are calling you and you know how to respond. But you are not your name. You are so much more than your name. You have all these qualities and values and all these other things deep down inside that don't come through when someone says your name. So you are so much more than that. And in the same way, of course, when it comes to depression and anxiety and any of these other labels that have been put out there. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I wanted to sort of tag onto the post that I made, maybe bring a little bit more clarity. If you have any questions about anything that I shared, go ahead and write it in the comment section, and I'd be happy to answer. In the meantime, again, a reminder, if you feel like this is resonating with you and you're going, yeah, I've been diagnosed with depression. I have been put this label on me and I want to remove it. I want to get rid of this label. I don't want to be in this state of sadness and hurt anymore. I want to shift into a more positive state, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to get help. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it on my own. Just thinking positive, it doesn't work. That's another video that I did. You can check that below if you're interested in that. So if that's you, if that's how you're feeling, then go ahead and schedule a free 45-minute empowerment call with me, where we can really get deep into what is going on, what state are you in, what are you experiencing, what state do you want to be in, and how can I help you get there. So I'm going to be posting a link in the comment section below, so you can easily just click on that link and schedule your complimentary empowerment session with me, and we can go from there. So seeing lots of people on. Sophia, I haven't seen you in so long. Thank you so much for coming on. We have Brandon, Mary, Karen, Rosa. Of course, my hubby's on. And yeah, so I'm not seeing any questions. So if the questions come up after the video is no longer live, definitely leave me a comment. Either write the question in the comment or send me a private message if you want to ask me a question. I'm always happy to answer. I'm always happy to clarify anything. So go definitely do that, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you guys. Thanks for everybody who logged in live, who was here with me on this live call today. And I'm looking forward to the next time. Thank you.